I'm Mary Ann Buchanan, founder and CEO of RIA Match. Thank you for joining us today. As a Fidelity advisor, you are eligible to receive 1 month free and 20% off either plan that you choose by entering a coupon code. And I'm going to put it up in the window as well. It's called RIA_match_Fidelity. And I will write that in the chat box for you. Let me just do that right now. Let's see if this is for everybody to see here. While we wait for other people to come into the room. Okay. So you can see that coupon code right there. And as I said, for those who are joining, that allows you to receive 1 month free and 20% off either plan, either the personal or the premium plan. And we'll go through that in just a minute. While people are gathering, let me go ahead and cover some quick housekeeping rules for the group. So first off, let's do an audio check. Can you raise your hand for me if you can hear me? Do you see over on the right, you probably are all very schooled at how to do this, where you can raise your hand. See if we've got, very good. We've got hands going up. Lou, Liz, Maria, great. So everybody can hear me. Perfect. Perfect. Linda, Joe, great. Okay, good deal. So I'll lower the hands. And the next thing I want to do is let you know that we're going to take questions in the chat box. So that chat box is that lower square below. So if you could just go ahead and just type in the city that you're calling from, and so that I can see that people are knowing how to enter a question in. You see right over there, again on the right. Okay, let's see. Okay, so what we're going to do today is cover 3 basic concepts. We're all done with our housekeeping. And we're going to take just around an hour and cover 3 main concepts. One, I'd like to show you a little bit about the public pages of the site to give you an idea of what to look at, and you can come back and join us with that later. Come back and look at those pages of interest. I'd like to show you, most importantly, how to create your profile. It's really very simple, and it takes about 25 minutes. I'd also like to give you some tips on utilizing your match list. You'll see how that goes in just a bit. And also, when you're looking at someone else's profile, whether you're looking to grow your own firm, your own practice, or join another firm and you want to assess their profile, there's an awful lot you can see from the profile. So be sure and look at that part as well. But first, let me start with a brief introduction to RIA Match. So what is RIA Match? RIA Match is a website that offers financial advisor solutions for succession planning and growth. The website matches financial advisors with other financial advisors and RIAs who want to buy, sell, merge, or join practices. The advisors and the RIAs can search for free and pay to connect anonymously and securely. RIA Match's mission is to create an efficient market for advisors and RIAs to partner their practices. The site is agnostic as to custodial platform or whether even a deal gets done. It's a pure approach designed to serve all advisors, regardless of scale, scope, or experience. It's very helpful for advisors to come to RIA Match and look around, anonymously, uncommitted. Put a toe in the water, see who's out there in their area. So our goal is to bring the advisors the most efficient tools and excellent information so they can make the best decisions for the succession and growth of their practice. So let's go ahead and start on the home page. So we have 3 value propositions. The top third above the black line speaks mostly to the matching component, and we'll work on that. In the middle section, we have the industry digest. So it's a digest of industry articles. And we'll take a minute just to show you how that works. We've got the topics divided into 6 categories. And so we're taking industry articles and we're saying how do we divide this up? Is this article primarily about joining a firm or forming an RIA or planning for the future? So articles in planning for the future would be related to contingency and succession planning. There are articles for managing your advisors, M&A issues, and then discovering other ideas tends to be more of trending articles. So we will come to that. So what I want to do is also show you a little bit about the store. So in the store, we have down here, so we are featuring, to start off, our 2 products from Fidelity. We'll be stocking the shelves with actionable solutions. So our goal is that should you have you're looking to gather information on growth and succession planning for your firm, that you go to the digest and read the industry articles. And that you would go to matching to find potential profiles, potential firms and advisors to match with, and then go into the store to get actionable solutions. Let me just take you to one of the Inside Industry Digest to show you how this works in our Knowledge and Insight section. So you can see, and we've got to update we're coming around to updating our Knowledge and Insight section. But here's an article from Investment News. So what you can do is you can click on it. There's the summary, and then you can get the summary and a quote. And if you click Read the article online, it takes you right to Investment News. Let's say that you are looking at a number of articles, but you don't have time to read them. You just save them to your library. It's just that easy. Okay, and I have to register, I have to log in to save it. But once you're logged in, you can save it to your library, because then it knows who you are, which is a great function and allows you to get an understanding of, getting organized, gathering your thoughts, and then you can just find it in the library when you're ready. Also, over on the right, please note we have our Ask the Panel expert. We have industry experts, and let me just show you a little bit of who some of them are. Oh, I've got to log in. One would think it's my website. I would know these things, right? Let me go back in there, and I'll log in just a second. So the way let's see if we can get in here. So it's going to give me the login again, isn't it? Isn't that fabulous? Here, why don't I log in so we can see? In any case, there's lots of functionality. I want to click on how it works. So I'll walk you through this process. You fill out your profile online. You tell us what you're looking for. We have matching proprietary algorithms, and we automatically match you. And this is you can do all of this for free. And then you communicate on the internal email system, which allows you to be anonymous and secure, and you're just known by your profile number. And only if and when you're ready do you reveal who you are to your potential match. We have lots of organization on the site to show you. We'll show you your dashboard and your match list and how your messages work. We'll come back to plans and pricing, but I want to show you that this is the page, and this is where you can take a look at how it works. We have 3 plans. The basic plan is free. And even though Fidelity has 1 month free plus 20% off either the personal or the premium plan, what I would really advise is that you actually start with a basic plan. Don't use your free month until you have matches that you're really interested in connecting with, because there's a great deal you can do for free. You can create your own profile. You can view the basic member profiles of other matches of yours. You get matched for free. You see this third line right here, send indications of interest. You can send and receive indications to and from other members. What an indication of interest is it's like winking or poking on those other social media sites. When I log in, I'll show you how that works. You receive alerts when profiles match your search criteria. So once a day, if you have matches, indications, new matches, new indications of interest, or messages, you get an email in the morning from RIA Match, and just telling you how many of those that you have. You can explore our Knowledge and Insight section. You can create and manage your own match list, save your articles, in your library, and certainly shop in the store. You can do all this for free. So what I really recommend, as I said, is to go ahead and start with a basic. Upgrade to the personal when you want to view the enhanced profile, so the longer profile of a member. And you'll see why that is important when you want it, when someone is of interest, that you want to see their enhanced profile. And also when you want to save notes on them, or when you want to send them an email on the internal email system. The way this works, you see the number 5 right here in the personal column. So what that means is you can reach out to 5 other profiles with unlimited emails to those 5 profiles in 1 month. The next month, you get those 5 profiles plus 5 additional profiles. So every month you're gathering 5. Now, what if you don't use them all? They roll over like cell phone minutes. Just roll over to the next month. 90 days, I believe, is the life of a contact, and an unused contact. And so that's how that works. Should you have a spike, let's say there are 15 people that you'd really want to send an email to, then what you do is you go in and you buy a booster pack in the store, because that would be a 1-month surge where you'd need 5 or 10 additional contacts. You can upgrade and downgrade every month. So we want to give the advisors as much flexibility as they need. So we have frequently asked questions, which is a good place to start. We talked about what RIA Match is. So who does RIA Match serve? It serves RIAs and advisors looking for a succession plan through adding advisors to their practice or mergers and acquisitions. RIA Match serves advisors looking to join an existing practice or a firm. RIAs looking to sell their practice as their path to succession. Also, RIAs looking to merge. RIA Match serves RIAs looking to grow their firm through adding new advisors, M&A. And it also addresses breakaway brokers and hybrid reps looking to join an existing firm or form a new firm. So tell everybody you know. We talked about how RIA Match works, but this is why you must tell every advisor you know, because it is a self-populated database. So only the advisors that are on the site, they have come themselves and filled out their profile. The advisors and firms, as we just reviewed, you get to search for free and pay to connect. So you get to review your matches and then decide if you want to reach out. The advisor's anonymity is protected at all times. It's only in the internal messaging that you would reveal who you are. So what this does is it puts the power in the advisor's hands. And as I said, RIA Match is agnostic of custodial platform or whether a deal gets done. So if you were going to be growing your firm, this is a great platform that you might attract a breakaway broker to your practice. So it's a great opportunity. When you're going to look, you can cast your net very wide. So what RIA Match has done is we've created the playing field. We're not calling the plays, and we don't benefit from them. Okay, let's go ahead and log in. So I'm going to take you back to the home page so you can see that. Now, when I log in, it's going to take us to the dashboard. But what I will take you to the experience of when you go to register. I'll show you how that works. So when you log in, you arrive at your dashboard. Oh, but I arrived at the Ask the Panel Expert because that's what I clicked on. Remember, it remembered what I wanted to log into. Let me step back. So when you want to ask the panel a question, it already populates who you are, and you can enter your question. And what I wanted to do was show you some of our panelists. I'm on there. David DeVoe is on there. David is an M&A specialist, years of experience, has worked with over 300 advisors in working on their M&A. Beverly Flaxington. Beverly is a humanist. She has worked with advisors and advisory firms for years, and is great when you're looking to build your team or merge teams. It's a great, she's a great advisor, counselor to bring into your practice for consulting. Corey Kupfer of Hamburger Law Firm and Market Counsel. They work exclusively with advisors. It's a law firm dedicated to working with advisors. That's succession planning, retirement planning, adding advisors to your firm. Should you need have a legal question, you can always ask them a question on there at the Ask Our panel. But now let's go to the dashboard. So as I said, the dashboard brings you, is where you arrive when you log in. And you can see the library there. So it'll show you the library articles or the articles that you've saved to your library, and you can also view your library. It's just good to know how that content works. That's going to be a great feature for you. Let me go back to the dashboard. So the main center column is really knowledge and insight, as well as the RIA Match store. If you look over on the right, you can see there's your profile description. So we've got one of my demos up, right? You can edit your matching profile, and you can preview your matching profile. You can see your recent activity, 6 unread messages, 61 matches, no new indications of interest. So you can see a great deal of recent activity in your account. And then things that you've recently looked at. And there's your Ask the Panel again. So all on your dashboard. But what I'd like to do is I'd like to take you to Edit My Matching Profile. Because when you go to register, you confirm your email address, your name and email address, and then you confirm it. It sends you a confirmation email. You click on that. And that brings you back to your matching profile. And it's here that you see. So now we're going to look at how to complete our profile. And so it's here you can see that the profile is divided into 4 sections. Your personal profile, practice profile, firm philosophy and culture, and your goals. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go across the top of each of these sections. And you see the little matching profile completion. It tells you how far along you are. Also good to know is if you go through and you think you've completed something and you haven't, this little green arrow, little green dot will actually be an open circle. So if you thought you answered everything and you didn't, you can scan down here and see just where you need to go. So let's start with a personal profile. Here you describe yourself and your experience as an advisor. So now, remember we talked about anonymity. So we never reveal who you are or where you're located. But we do need your address so that we can tell you how far away from your office your matches are. We ask, the profile asks things like, how long have you been a financial advisor? So, it's all click down, so it's very quick and easy. Your age range, your role in the practice. Try to cover all of them there. We have questions here. These last 3 questions on this page are really for breakaways or potential breakaways. Do you have a non-solicitation or a non-compete or a note with your current employer? We ask your licenses and affiliations. Are you with the FPA, FSI? Do you have a master's or a law degree, MBA? What securities licenses do you have? And also, what kind of investment firm holds your licenses? So if you're a fee-only advisor, for example, you can click No Securities Licenses if that applies, and it would be an independent RIA. It could be something like that. And where are you educated? So once you've filled in a little bit about your personal profile, we go on to the practice. But let me share a note here. One of the questions that I get is, let's say you're in an ensemble practice, multiple advisors, and you've tasked someone, maybe not one of the advisors, to fill out the RIA Match application, to fill out the profile. And they're saying, well, we're a firm looking to add advisors. I think I'll just skip the personal profile section because it doesn't really apply. And what I encourage you to do is go ahead and just pick one of the lead advisors and fill it out for them, just because it gives some depth, greater depth and breadth of the advisory firm if you do it that way. But let's go on to practice profiles. So here we talk about the organization and compensation up first. So what best describes your practice? Are you a solo practitioner, an ensemble? And we even have questions for those who are completing this that are new to the industry. We've tried to be mindful of that throughout the profile. So we ask what best describes your practice, but then who's going to complete this profile? Is it an individual leaving a team, or is it an individual in a solo practice, or a team lifting out? So it gives you all the permutations and combinations of who might be completing the profile. And then again, another classification for your practice. Are you an IAR, a corporate RIA, or any of the other options, right? So we're going to scroll down here a sec. Some things about your corporation, how you're organized. Now here are some important ones. Assets under management. So what is the dollar amount of RIA assets that you charge a fee on? We also break out assets under advisement. For many hybrid reps, there's going to be a percentage of their assets that they earn a commission on. Now we go to scale of the practice, number of owners, number of advisors, non-producing staff. And then how does the firm's revenues, what is the source of the firm's revenues, right? How are the owners compensated? This is really helpful. How are the non-owners compensated? This is really helpful when you are looking at another profile. You get a really good in-depth view of what their compensation structure and picture looks like. Also, how do your clients compensate you? So now that you've gotten that part done, we take a look at your client composition. So now we're looking at the scale and scope of the practice. How many clients does your practice serve? Again, it's a pull down. How many accounts does your practice service? What is your account minimum? Discretionary, what % are discretionary? Now this would pertain obviously if you were looking to leave your firm and join another firm, the amount of assets you would consider that you would go with you. Now here's an important one, the client breakdown by client type. And you see we've defined these. So what I want you to think about is what % of your clients are high net worth clients. So this is not what % of your assets, but what % of your clients. It's a more accurate read. So high net worth, defined as greater than 30 million of financial assets. Sorry, that's ultra high net worth. And then high net worth, greater than 1 million. Mass affluent. And you go down and you break this out. And remember, this will be when we view a completed profile. You'll see why that's very helpful to see the client breakdown when you're looking to assess another profile. What advisory services does your firm provide and offer? Lots to choose from. Naturally, you can select more than one. What type of investment products does your firm support? Again, click away to what describes it. Other types of business activities. So this is very helpful too. You can get a sense of who you're looking at. What services do you pay an outside consultant or firm to provide? Why would we ask this question? Well, we ask it because it allows you to look at the scalability of another firm. Let's say you're two firms and you're looking to buy or merge with another firm. This would tell you how many systems and procedures and how scalable, a window into how scalable they may be. If you use a TAMP, if you use turnkey asset management programs, which one? Wouldn't it be great if you used the same? So what custodians do you use? Naturally, you use Fidelity. You might have a secondary one, so you would check that off as well. Now, what technologies does your firm use? Certainly, it's important to have common crossover in the custodian, but what about the contact management system, or the financial planning system, or the portfolio accounting and portfolio management software? Because if you've just plunked a lot of money down for a software system, it's really great to know if the other person is not wedded to theirs or if they happen to share the same one. So these are good background questions to have. Now, you know that the personal profile and the practice profile, you've gathered a lot of information, and all of that can align. But if the philosophy and culture do not match, it's going to be difficult to onboard someone into your practice or to merge with another practice or buy them. So let's take a look at philosophy and culture. Now, This section is qualitative, not quantitative. We're going to go through each of the attributes, and what you do is you move this slider bar. So remember, it's not Boolean. It's true we could be a hard, completely a lifestyle practice, which is what this first attribute is, but often it's, I'm a lifestyle practice, but I'm moving toward an enterprise practice. And we know a lifestyle practice is one that's linked completely to the individual contributions of the partners. And an enterprise practice is a firm that's linked to the enterprises. The firm's identity is linked to the enterprise as a whole. So you just slide, what describes your firm or your practice? Team philosophy. Do the advisors work individually, or do the advisors work as a team? Right? The operations of the firm, are they decentralized or are they centralized, where the firm provides common resources for marketing, growth, and client services? What about systems and procedures? Does your practice have extensive systems and procedures so that there's a consistent client care and that's supported by systems and procedures? You just move that to reflect where you are. Asset growth plan. Is it strategic? Is there an ongoing, multi-pronged, and documented growth plan? Is it, whether it's that you're doing seminars or that you're doing continuing ed at a community college, what is the plan that you have to grow your assets? What is the plan that you have to add advisors to your practice? And you would also move it to reflect that. And finally, who owns the clients? So once you've drawn this picture, now remember this, we talked about this as being qualitative. So this really paints a portrait of your practice. What I would recommend that you do when you actually go, you'll look at other practices and you'll look at their philosophy and culture, but it'll remind you to have a conversation about these points. So let's go on to match objective. You've told us about your practice and your personal profile. What is it that you want to accomplish? Do you want to buy, sell, merge, add advisors to your practice? What we commonly see is that a firm or an advisor knows that they need to start their succession plan, but they don't exactly know how they're going to carry that out. Is it going to be through adding advisors or merging or selling? So what you would do is you can pick multiple here. And I would really encourage you to think about merging your practice, to check merge. And we'll talk about that later. It's difficult for someone to admit that they want to sell their practice. So if you just click buy, if you're looking to expand and you just want to buy a practice, you might miss out on someone who would be open to merging. So what are your goals? Where do you want to accomplish this? The beauty of the location preference is that you can actually add multiple regions. So let's say that you live in Boston, but you want to sort of semi-retire somewhere warmer. You pick your summer warmer spot, say the Southwest. You put in the area zip code and a radius, and you can add that region. So that way, let's say you could find someone in the Southwest that had a similar practice. And maybe you could merge with them or buy them, or maybe simply just use their office. And that would be sort of a two-pronged approach to your search. So we've talked about your goals and where you want to accomplish them. There's some other factors in our ideal match that we need to take a look at. What is the assets under management of your ideal match? Now we have lots of different areas, ranges here. And as you look at the range, you could say, well, gee, I'd be interested in buying anyone between, or merging with anyone between 100 and 500 million, and you've got all these different ranges. Pick the one that's best for you, a middle range, and I'll show you how we work with that in a minute. How many clients? If you have 100 clients, you're probably not interested in bringing on someone who's got 500. So that's good to know. Your ideal match is years of experience. Are you looking for a newbie, someone somewhat seasoned, or a full seasoned equal partner? How do you want your ideal match to be compensated? Now, if you're a fee-only advisor, I would recommend that you think about, put fee-only here, and we'll show you on the What's Important tab how to address that. But someone who's 75% fee is very different than someone who's 25% fee. So that's why we give you the range here to choose from. Finally, what is your sense of urgency? Are you looking to act as soon as possible, the next quarter, 6 months, 1 year, or longer? So now we've identified all of the factors in our matching search. But what we do here is talk about what's important. One of the things is location. So remember, you put your zip code in and your radius. Now, for example, if you're in Midtown Manhattan, your radius might be 1 mile, or it might be 5, but you certainly won't want 50 miles out, or you don't want to see practices or advisors that are way far away from New York. So you might put that as it's a deal breaker or pretty close to it's a deal breaker. When you have it on it's a deal breaker in regards to location, what that means is you won't be matched with anyone who is outside the radius of the location that you specified. And it's a two-way matching system. They won't be matched with you either. So that's important to know as you sort through your matches. Now, if it's it's not a deal breaker, you can bring it in 1. So you do that with each of these parameters. Assets under management. Remember how we had lots of different ranges there, and I said I would come back to that? Maybe that assets under management, maybe it's not that important, or sort of not that important. Again, you can move the slider bar to it's a deal breaker or it's not that important. What I do is I look at this like casting your net. So here are the fish that we're fishing for. We've identified them. And now we're casting our net. If your markers are more toward the right, toward it's a deal breaker for each of these attributes, you're casting a very narrow net. If it's more toward it's not that important, you're casting it wide. Also good for you to know, you can always come in and adjust anything within your profile. You can edit your profile at any time. So clients under advisement. Now that one might be a little bit important. Again, the scale and scope of your practice and what it can cover. Years as an advisor. So here, remember, you're speaking to, are you looking for someone new, mid-range, or very experienced? And we did, if you remember, that's the outline, the number of years. Compensation structure. Now here, a fee-only advisor might put it's a deal breaker. I would encourage you, should you be a fee-only advisor and you're listening, to put it 1 off. Because if someone is, for example, 75% fee, they might want to sell that last 25% of their book, and then you'd have 100% fee person. So you want to perhaps bring that in. And again, the same for sense of urgency. So once you submit your profile, we run matches every hour. So you're not going to get instantaneous matches. It will be about an hour, maybe a tad longer, depending, before you can go look at your match list. But once your match list is populated, this is what it looks like. And this is really, it's got great functionality. Our goal here was to give you, at a glance, a great deal of information. But I actually jumped ahead. Let me back up, and well, we'll do it this way. What I know, we just went through all those tabs and put in your profile information. What I want to do is show you what a profile looks like once all that information is gathered. So we'll come back to analyze the profile in just a minute. But so here's an early ensemble firm in San Francisco. So you can see the profile number, that it's a basic, so it's a basic free member, and they last logged in on the 23rd of November. So remember, we filled in our search criteria, so this person wants to buy or wants to add advisors to his practice. There's the personal information. He's between 56 and 60. He's been an advisor for over 10 years. He's a producing owner and an independent RIA. So we can see that 63 and 65. He's got his BS from Berkeley and his doctorate from Berkeley. Smart cookie. There's the practice information. It's an ensemble practice with between 25 million and 99 million in assets under management. And it's fee only. Can you see all of a sudden, when you look at this, how valuable of an insight that you're getting on a practice? One owner in the practice, he's got, or one owner but 2 advisors in the practice, 2 non-producing staff, and all the way down. Look at the client composition. Remember we talked about that client breakdown? So here it's very helpful. At a glance, you're looking at this profile and you know that 65% of them, of this client breakdown is mass affluent, 20% is high net worth, it's got some other there, and 4% is retirement. So if all of yours were, if your were 65% retirement or 401k, then maybe this wouldn't be such a great profile or a good match for you. But at a glance, you get this. There are the services that are offered and the types of investments that are used. There are the custodians, software, and here's this philosophy and culture. So if you can see on this one, the philosophy and culture, if the marker is to the left, it's more of a lifestyle practice. If the marker is to the right, it's more of a centralized enterprise type practice. Sometimes what you'll see is it's more of a lifestyle practice, but they've got their act together as far as centralized operations. Very helpful as you go to assess profiles to see that philosophy and culture piece, as well as the client composition breakdown and all the other information on the firm. We're going to come back to a profile, and when we come back, we'll look at the rating and the toolbox. But I want to go back to our match list. So here we are at the match list. The default is that the most recent matches are on top, and it shows you the date that it's added. There's a profile number. Remember, we just clicked on that. A basic description of the firm. So that's an early ensemble firm. You've got early ensemble, mature solo, early solo, and the other is market dominator. The location. Now you can see from the location that it is a very general term. If you're in a metropolitan statistical area, it would say something like metropolitan San Francisco. If you notice down here, this one, mature solo practitioner, Connecticut. What that means is it's outside of a metropolitan statistical area. So we didn't want to identify it any more than just the state. There's the distance from your office. That's why you had to put your address in. There's that match quality. Now this is what the proprietary matching algorithms rank every profile in the system compared to yours. So the ones that match, then once they match, how well do they match? And that's a 5-ball system. So you can see there's a 4, a lot of these are 5s. You can also sort by them. So you can see how you can sort. And I'll show you more sorting in a second. So there's, you can also rank them. So you can then compare your ranking versus the ranking of the system, the proprietary matching algorithm ranking. Remember we talked about at the beginning that indications of interest, like winking or poking? You see this one little face right here, this one little headshot? That means you can see from the key above that this person sent me an indication of interest. And you see the 2 profiles, 2 little face headshots, that means I sent them one. Here's a good strategy. If you see a profile that you like, send them an indication of interest. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. And if they send one back to you, you know you've looked at their profile and you've said, I'm interested in your profile. The one back is that they looked at yours and they're interested. So that's very helpful to note. You can also keep notes on each of your matches. And I'll show you how to do that in a second, but they're all viewed right there. So let's look. You can sort by distance. So you can sort by the offices that are closest to you. Mine is a demo, and lots of people put in information, so it doesn't, there's nothing too close to my office right now. But what I will tell you is that if you see 0, let's say you're searching by distance, and you see a profile with 0 distance from your office. One of 2 things. The practice 2 floors above is looking to add advisors, and you will have the same parking spot. Or potentially, if you're looking to leave a practice, that could be that your boss is looking to add new advisors, and you would want to block that profile. And I'll show you how to do that in a second. So you can search by distance, you can search by match quality, you can search by ranking. We're going to go in and look at the toolbox on a profile in just a second. But what I want to do is show you the advanced filter, because this is pretty cool. So you see how there's 61 profiles in your profile list here? Let's say that I really want to look at, of those 61 profiles, I really want to see who custodies at Fidelity. of those 61 profiles, 31 of them custody of Fidelity. Sweet, that's very helpful. Now of those 31, who's the closest? Who's the highest ranked? Who have I ranked? So that's where it's very helpful to use the advanced filter. Now what I will remind you of is that in order to, if you have these filters on, they will stay on even when you log out and you log back in. You'll only see your Fidelity advisors, or whichever, if you wanted to look for someone who belonged to the FPA. So you may, if you want to look at your complete match list, you would reset your filters and apply them, and that brings you back to your 61. So let's go ahead and look at this profile, and I want to take you to the toolbox. So we've got our profile. So this is a 5-ball match, so that's 5 out of 5, which is, so that's obviously a very good match. This guy wants to buy a practice and add advisors to our existing practice. And if you recall, the last person who was working in my profile mentioned he wanted to sell a practice. So that's what he or she had checked. So that's why it matches up, and he had a very large distance. So let's say we've looked at this profile like we did before. Remember, we scaled down, we saw it all, and we like it. Now we're thinking it's not perfect, but it's really close. So we're not giving it 5 stars, but we're giving it 4. And you see, we can compare it to the quality match of the system. Let's say we want to send this guy an indication of interest. This is just where you would do it. Now I'm not going to click here because it would send it, and I don't want to be misleading. You can also send a message from here. So you see the anonymity. There's a message profile, subject, saying hello. I'm interested in your profile. It's anything you want to say here, but it's also here that you would reveal your identity. So let's say you look at this profile and you like it. So here you would view and edit notes. So you might want to write something here to remind you who this is. Once you start looking at a lot of profiles, it's really helpful to have notes like, this is the guy in San Francisco who, has, some attribute that stands out for you so that you can quickly remember who it is. You can print the profile out. Remember when we were talking about the ensemble practice, we've assigned someone in the firm to search? So that person would have access to the account, and they would see a profile that they want to show the owners of the firm. They could just email it to them, and they get to see the entire profile. So they share the profile with you. Remember how we talked about what if it was 0 distance and you thought if you were looking to leave a firm and you wanted to block it, that's how you block it. Unblocking is very easy. You just go back to the profile, blocked profile. You can see who you've blocked, and you just unblock them. It's that easy. So that's great functionality within the practice, or within the profile, rather. So you can send indications of interest, send a message, the notes, print the profile, share it, and block. So now what I want to do is take you to, again, the match list so you can take a look. Let me sort it by ranking. So again, this might have a little bit more meaning to you now. So there are the ones you ranked, there are the notes, and at a glance you can see who your biggest, your most interested and most active prospects are. If you're a paying member, you get to do the email, and so the email functionality is right here. So when you have your email, instead of getting just a notice that you have an indication of interest, you get this little header that says, you've received an indication of interest from this profile, send them one back if you like theirs, or the profile responded to your indication of interest with one of their own. They like your profile, send them an email to start a dialogue. So you can just read the little headers, but everybody gets, those are just fixed emails that count as the indications of interest. Okay, so we talked about the library. Let's go back to our dashboard. All right, now let me see if we've got time for questions. Let's see what else we need to cover here. All right. looking for the question box here. Alrighty. Let's see here, just one sec. Alrighty. If you've got a question, let's see. Okay, let's see. David's got a question. Let's see if I can click on it here. Okay, no, that was from answering that. So let's put that hand down. All right. And I apologize, my question box has disappeared on here. I hate when it happens. Just me getting used to the system again. All right, let's see. So this is a time to ask, let's see, any other questions? Andrea's got a question. It could have been also her state. All right. Let me just take a peek if you've got any other questions. All right, what I wanted to do is remind you that the code is RIA_match_Fidelity, and that gives you the 20% off on any plan that you choose, either the personal or the premium, and you get the 1 month free as well. And once again, I apologize. I'm trying to get my screen to extend, and it is not extending for me. So if you have any questions, you can ask them now. You can also email me at Marianne Buchanan, or Marianne Buchanan, Marianne.Buchanan, there we go, at riamatch.com. Thank you very much for attending, and we will answer any questions through email. And let's see if I can figure that out. There we go. Thank you very much. We look forward to working with you. We look forward to working with Fidelity. They've been a great supporter of RIA Match. And we hope that you find great success within the RIA Match system. Remember that you can look at the profiles and assess them and determine which ones are a good match for you. Thank you very much. We wish you continued success. Bye for now.